The ultimate productivity tool for founders and leaders is not another app, but it's deciding what not to work on. I'm Suzanne Rath, and you're listening to Endures for your daily dose of endurance, leadership, and life lessons. So I read dozens of productivity articles every month, and most of them, to be honest, are nonsense. So when an article from Forbes landed in my inbox this morning, I found it really, really refreshing, because this is what it was about. Founders and leaders, the ultimate productivity tool is actually to decide what not to do. So in the article, they quoted a recent study that showed that about 36% of entrepreneurs spend about 36% of their time each week doing tasks like invoicing and following up payments, which really isn't moving the needle forwards. And we think about how we can use tools like AI or outsourcing to do those things that really enable us to chase after the outcomes. It is so important to work out what those actual outcomes are. And so two suggestions which they make in the article are, number one, outcome batching. So instead of thinking, well, what's my task list, what's my to-do list for today, thinking, what are the outcomes I want to achieve? And batching your time around that. So batching the time around, say, marketing and the outcomes that you want to achieve from that. Batching your time around revenue generating activities, whatever the case might be, but reviewing this really regularly. So this can take a couple of hours a week, but the time that it saves and the energy it saves in terms of avoidance of decision fatigue is huge. Now, the second thing they talk about in the article is it's such an old tool, but it's still so effective, and I still hear people talking about it all the time, and I've created variations of it, is the Eisenhower matrix, which is a really good thing to keep coming back to decide what we do, what we delegate, what we delay, and what we delete. But they talk about having a productivity system. And this is where Claude really seems to be coming into its own. So they use the example of a founder who preloads Claude with a huge number of tasks that are really specific to her business, so she doesn't just get this noise. So it might be things like a sequence to follow up clients after a workshop, or a series of news articles that you want to read every day and the specific criteria that you want for that. So really like the Google alert on steroids. So two really simple, rather than 10 things, rather than the magic app, rather than the magic software program, two simple things to think about: the outcome batching and looking at tools that will actually organize our productivity for us to get rid of some of that decision fatigue that you can try, that will give you some meaningful productivity and performance. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you tomorrow for more from Endures. Bye.